RB, of course, there's got to be some Dragon Ruler action in the background, and it looks like a mini Thunder Dragon package. Make sure you smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more on this content. Monolac actually came up with, I think, one of the coolest concepts that I have seen out of, the new format kind of shaking up here. You actually get to see, oh yes, a Psychonos inside of my RB deck? Well, yes, because this actually brings out Rose. This gives you that extra facilitation of a resource being generated, which we've kind of talked about is kind of important. Now, yes, it is a discard a spell card, but I mean, you've got plenty of ways to kind of recur this asset back. And remember, this is always going to be a Sky Striker card too, so to be able to kind of help you out along the way. I mean, this duelist managed to claw their way up to 40th place out of YCS Pittsburgh. This is not a shot in the dark, something bad. No, this is the exact opposite. This is a running for the goal, trying to come up with, the best combination of ways you can do it. Now, all the RB cards within the main deck for the monsters are all going to be one-ups. I don't really feel like you have much of a reason to bulk down on these too much, because most of the time, I mean, these feel like they're not going to be too great, and it feels like they're kind of bricks. The spell cards, the Funk Dock and Stage Lane, you're going to max out on, and the two traps, you can afford to play them in the main deck. That's fine. One of the best cards that Monolac talked about that had the best results for him was just the fact that Denko Seka was just an auto-win card. Like, you saw this card in certain matchups, you just slapped it on the table, and your opponent just looked at you and said, what am I supposed to do about this monster? How am I supposed to overcome this? Well, the answer is, you really don't. This is how decks right now have to come up with the opportunity to play through all of Draco Tail's back row cards. The key is, it does it very, very elegantly. All right, next up here, we have Sonny's Dragon Ruler Special. Now, Sonny has continuously entertained me with the ideas that this man can actually just kind of throw into a Dragon Ruler pile. Now, Archlord Christian, I mean, you're going to have access to this card. This is one of those very, very free, annoying monsters that's going to come down. You're going to be like, oh, hey, by the way, I can true tribute over my monsters. And your opponent's going to have to try to figure out how to handle a Floodgate monster in a matchup like this. Speaking of Floodgate monsters, because we are playing Heavenly Spheres, it auto gives us toggle into the Kawaki Maradrago, which is also, by the way, going to cause more problems for the opponent. Now, because you are playing Dragon Ruler, you gosh darn bet that you are going to be playing Tenpai cards in here. Tenpai and Dragon Ruler kind of had a relationship over the last couple of years where, Dragon Rulers, they look consistent, but that's not really the case. You get in on the allure of, oh, hey, this seems like it's going to be good, but no, it really doesn't. The cool thing, though, that Tenpai does is Tenpai is able to access and make an actual level 7 monster, which then, if we've got another level 7, guess what? We can start getting into, the other Dragon Rulers here, and suddenly, we can start to access and, do some stupid things. Obviously, the goal is to get to Disaster to be able to do the big suck up for, his effect. But realistically, it still is going to take a little bit of setup and a little bit of the legwork here to pull together the initial pieces to make the big Megazord and to pull together the pieces to actually make this work. But when it does, it looks pretty good. Also, non-fusion area. That's kind of techy. Next up here. So this was an interesting idea. So what if we were just so happened to want to play another level 5 package within our K9 deck? Because let's call this what this is. This is K9 with a couple of extra steps. So in theory, if I see a Dragon Dark in my hand, I can banish this to add a Dragon Dark to my deck to my hand. Okay, I mean, that's pretty good, but what are we going to do with that? Well, we're going to Joe Cool it onto the field, And we're going to make a Thunder Dragon Colossus because guess what? That previous Thunder Dragon had already resolved its effect, and we're going to remember, oh, duh, I did this effect, so now I can get this Colossus up and running. It is kind of cheesy, honestly, to think about that I could just very easily splash Thunder Dragon Dark into a deck like this, and it's just able to work. I mean, hey man, I guess whatever is going to float your boat in terms of innovation. Now, I mean, for the rest of this, I mean, you're going to be playing standard canine cards, right? Noroi is going to be your base. I mean, you're always going to want to normal summon this. If you can normal summon the Noroi, good. You're going to get off the ground very easily. I also can tell you, holy crap, man, in terms of your side deck down here, we did not want our opponent playing the game. Like, I think that is the crazy card, because you got Lightning Storms, you got Raigekis, you got Dark Rule and No More. Whatever problems were coming up for this duelist in their matchups, no. They don't exist anymore. They have boarded in to go second. I guess going second was probably a little bit of a problem for them previously, if I had to guess. Oh, no. Mermails. So we will kind of see Mermails kind of pop in and out as kind of this challenger deck. But we also like to point the finger a lot at the water barrier statue. I personally think one of the reasons why this deck actually does get the chance to do so well is strictly because the water barrier statue actually just facilitates and allows you to, you know, whatever board you're going to set up on a Mermail, you're able to do so. Also, I mean, you guys all remember the time where we were all hyped up on Mullen Glacia as being one of the most chaotically broken cards within the game's history. Yeah, I remember. Now look where we are now. You know, we exist within a time where we look at Mullen Glacia and we're like, yeah, getting hand ripped sucks, but, you know, it comes down to a water barrier statue at the end of the combo line that kind of just rams it in and makes it so that we're not going to be able to have a good time. I also do see, yes, Dominus Impulses. Yes, you have the Imperms. The two spell cards you have within the deck are going to be two of the most powerful powerhouse cards you can slap on the table. This build is also only playing one Minstrel in the main, while choosing to side the second copy. It does feel like, as time has gone by, like, the amount of Minstrels that we are seeing within list has been kind of reducing itself. I also do see that we're maximizing on Poseidras here. That's actually kind of refreshing, actually, because I've seen a couple lists popping up recently where they were kind of like, well, do I really need maximum Poseidras? You know, do I really need to have those tools? And I can understand it. I can kind of understand it, but as long as you've got all the standard Mermail stuff here, I think you'll be just fine. Next up here, this was a list that kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I didn't expect to see, you know, Malice playing Snake Eyes cards within the current span of the meta, because at this stage, I mean, OSS has just been cratered into the ground. You know, there's really, when you look at OSS, you're like, you know, we're done. We're not going to be dealing with this garbage anymore. But no, actually, it looks like somebody had an idea here that was actually kind of a good one, where you're able to use the Snake Eyes stuff kind of as the ability to, well, maybe it was involving this little guy. I also do see, because we are getting to play the Snake Eye stuff, we actually get to play the subversion in here as well. This also does give you the ability to answer some problematic cards that might be coming up. But this also is a reminder to you that Malice cards are personally some of the best combo enabling things that you have access to. You obviously just have to be aware that, you know, you're going to be locked into link monsters if you trigger a couple of these little walls of effects. Just be a little bit careful when you're looking at that and analyzing it. But I think there have been a lot of off of the wall concepts and ideas that players have just been trying to get to stick. And honestly, I'm kind of all for it. I like the fact that we are seeing all of this innovation kind of come together, and these off-the-wall ideas are doing their job. So please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.